What's going on, everybody? It is your boy, Ray Quotez Butler, back with another episode of the Relentlessly Becoming podcast. And I am elated to be here with y'all again for episode 4. Really quickly, the Bureau of Justice Statistics states that about 28.5% of black men will be incarcerated in their lifetime, a hefty amount compared to other men of other races. But the question remains, what happens after incarceration for black men? What are the opportunities? What does that grit look like, that perseverance, that ability to be able to press forward beyond the circumstance that you just walked out of? Well, today we get to hear a real story about what happens when you walk out of that place with a plan and when you get to putting in work around that plan. I'm ready to get into some good conversation today, and I can't wait for you all to hear what we're about to uncover. I'll see you soon. Opportunity, emotion, grit, relentlessness. Cling to the sound of my voice and understand that what you want wants you. What you need needs you. And you are relentlessly becoming relentlessly better. Welcome to the Relentlessly Becoming podcast. Let's go. All right, everybody, welcome back. We're excited, like I said, to get into this episode today. I have a very, very special guest here with me, Mr. Davaris Bell. He is a realtor, a clothing owner. He is a father. If you see him on social media, you know how engaging his post is, and I'm very grateful that he came and stopped by the couch to have a conversation with me around what it looks like to have relentless redemption. Welcome to the Relentlessly Becoming podcast, Davaris.
Man, appreciate it. Appreciate y'all having me today.
Thank you for joining me. I'm super excited. So we'll open it up with just letting you tell us a little bit about yourself, man. I know we're both from Mississippi. You're from Starkville. I went to Mississippi State and Starkville, and so that's kind of how I first got acquainted with you back when you were throwing parties at Mississippi State and you had, work on another type of clothing line and different things like that. Yeah. And so I know you came to Dallas, became a realtor, had your independent clothing line, and I just saw how much of a presence that you had on social media, and I thought it was just so engaging. So I knew, a little bit about your story because you've shared that publicly all the time. And I definitely wanted to get you here to have a conversation because I think it's just so important for black men and for people to hear stories like yours, because I have men in my family who have been to prison. I know a lot of people who are viewing this have the same thing. We heard the statistics opening up the show. And so I'm excited to be able to have this important conversation and hopefully be able to inspire others and encourage others who maybe were in that same situation. So tell us a little bit about your humble beginnings and how things got started for you.
Which part, just in general?
In general, just general. We're just starting off the top.
So, like you say, my name Davaris Bell. I'm from Mississippi. I'm from Starkville. Grew up single mother. My dad lived in the same city I lived in. Wasn't active. Wasn't involved at all. My mama did the best she could with the resources that she had. But how life worked, it's a cycle, man, because if my grandparents would have, focused on raising her right and putting her in the best position, then me and my brother would have been in a good position ourselves. So, but my grandparents took over when I was young, because my mama had me young, so we was actually me and my little brother was separated when we was young because my mama couldn't really do it. She young, she still got so much life to live, and she stuck with these two kids. She had me when she was just turning 18. You know what I'm saying? So got pregnant when she was 17. Had me when she was 18. My brother is 3 years younger than me. So she still got so much life. She's still young. And I ended up going with my grandparents. I ended up going with my grandmother because my mom's mom and dad was separated. They both had two different families, and they literally live up the street from each other. I'm talking about 4-5 houses away from each other, but they live two different lives. My granddad is super successful, got money, all that, but my grandmother, just just
Rode with it, typical Mississippi matriarch.
just getting it done, getting to a
Yeah.
fixed income, all that type of stuff. So my grandparents are the reason I am who I am because I got to see both lifestyles. My grandfather, hardworking man, we got up every single day, went to the hayfield, we cut grass. I didn't have a childhood growing up, so a lot of stuff now when I go to like amusement parks, when I go to the fair, when I go to Six Flag, like I'm like a kid again because I never got to do that when I was young because my whole summer and every day was spent in the hayfield working with my granddaddy. And then when I go to my grandmama's house was like my place of peace. That's where I can go and just be a kid, play with toys, watch cartoons, and my grandma spoiled me. Even though she didn't have a lot, but even with that little, she gave it to me. She made sure I had. So that's kind of like that's the humble beginnings right there. But yeah, I don't want to go too jump
We'll go
ahead. But
deep.
yeah,
We're gonna go deep. We're gonna go deep. That's
that's
what the Relentlessly Becoming podcast is about. And so I'm intrigued to know, do you think that the absence of your father played a part in, number one, the way that your life would matriculate to you being eventually incarcerated, but number two, flipping that to the way that you're a father? Because the people who see you on social media, if we see nothing else but you slanging houses, we're also going to see you very involved with your daughters. And you travel for your daughters, and you're at every event, and you always have them with you, and you always speaking affirmations to them. So do you think that the absence of your father had a very deep touch on the way that you handled those two things?
No, and it's gonna sound crazy to the conspiracy theorists out there who believe just because you don't have a father, you don't have a mother, and stuff like that, your life is gonna be whatever. But I had a man in my life who was a man's man. You know what I'm saying? Like didn't complain. That's why I don't like people who complain, and I don't complain. My grandfather didn't complain. I'm talking about gout. Barely can see. Never went to the doctor. I'm talking about messed up individual when it comes to health.
Yeah.
Ate everything on the hog. You know what I'm saying? Still got up, went to the hayfield every single day. Yeah. No crying, no complaining, getting it done. So I had a man in my life, and I had men in my life. My Uncle Cedric, my Uncle Anthony. They were men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't really miss the presence of having a dad. But on the flip side, I did want my mama in my life. You know what I'm saying? But I won't say I wanted her in my life. I wanted a better version of my mama. That's it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only thing in my life that like played a part, or that's something that I was missing in my life was my mama. That's it. Like my daddy, I was like, man, whatever. Because like I said, I got men in my life.
Yeah.
But my grandmama wasn't my mama, and my grandma loved me more than anything. Like that's my dog. Like she gonna have them uncomfortable conversations with me. It's things that I know about my grandmama that her own kids don't even know. I know why a lot of the decisions that she made while raising them. I know the answers to that, and the kids don't even know that. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So I just wanted a better version of my mama. That's it. Yeah.
And I think you highlighted a very important point when it comes to especially being young and being a young man, having those influences beyond just one in your life is so monumental, and it's important that we play a role in young men's lives. That's why I always try to be an example to my cousins and to, other young men that I mentor, because it takes more than just your father. And my father was in the house with me, but I also had phenomenal uncles. Like his brother, my Uncle Ricky, would always make sure, he gave us when he saw us. My mom's brothers were most certainly phenomenal in my life. My Uncle Mine being number one, that's probably all of our favorite uncles, but I love all of them the same. My Uncle B, my Uncle Nard, those three were just every day. Every day it was some type of something, and I have legacy from them that still reigns in my life, and things that they don't even know that they instilled in me that I carry with me because of, the men that they were and the example that they showed me, beyond just saying, that ain't my son, I ain't got to do all of that. But they did, the extra. Like my father was there in the house, but they always did the extra because they're those type of loving uncles. And so I think that, highlighting that and recognizing that definitely shows how, we have to keep carrying the baton forward and passing it to show that legacy is important. And it's not just the father's responsibility, but we can also pour into other men as uncles, as mentors, as cousins, and different things like that. Even my cousins, Ralph and Danny, were amazing because like we used to love when they came down. They're the same age as one of my uncles, and they just always joked and brought humor, and you would always put a little life lesson in there. You know what I'm saying? And so having those guys in my life always registers in my mind with how amazing of a example I was brought up with. So I appreciate you sharing that for sure. So talk to us a little bit about how things kind of started with you as far as the road leading up to you being incarcerated. What were the things that took place to make that happen, and how did you get started in those things?
You may not know this because when you came to Starving, I think it was still right there where Chick-fil-A at. It used to be old Burger King. Burger King ended up getting changed to a Maz or something like that. So when the shooting happened at McDonald's, that's 1,500 feet over Church of Tabernacle.
Right there on the corner.
Shooting in the occupied dwelling, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. So all these things, me and my cousin Wag, they charged us both with these crimes. But a lady who worked at McDonald's came and testified on our behalf, and they showed the film where the film only showed when we ran into McDonald's and we tried to open the door and get out the door. Camera didn't see the other side of the building. But because it showed us trying to get out the building through the door and the lady locked the door so we couldn't get out, that what actually made us get acquitted of the charges. So from there, I went to Boonville and Northeast, and I was up there with my cousin Bago, my best friend Jeremy Blau. So I was up there staying with them because I needed to get away. Stayed up there, worked out, trained, went to Memphis, tried out for it's like a show shot camp. It's like a camp where all the college coaches, they looking for basketball players to fill up their roster. So I went up there, played ball, did good, and ended up getting a scholarship to Monroe College in Rochester, New York. Go to Rochester, play ball up there, things going good. Things was going good academically, but I still had that street stuff in me. So I learned it's always a scam somewhere. So up there was the book scam. So you getting people book and you sell it back to the bookstore and you get money. So they put me up on that scam. And like I said, my grandparents didn't have the money to send me at school.
Right.
My grandparents was boxing up deer meat and sending it up to Wick milk. You know what I'm saying? They were sending that to me to school. King Vitamin.
Mm-hmm. That's that real Mississippi country.
Yeah.
That's where we from.
And so you got to think like they sending me this. Ego. Now, I won't say ego. I don't even know the word that you can use. It's just like, and I'm tired of this. Like I'm tired of Wick milk. These guys get to go to Subway. These guys get to go to Domino's. These guys get to go out and eat. I can't. I gotta eat. I gotta fry a dill sausage and some light bread and eat. They would start to play with me like, man. So I started the book bag scam that they put me on, my teammates, and ran the book bag scam up. Ended up getting set up by one of my teammates because he got in trouble. He told me to go grab a backpack and bring it to him. It's his backpack, not just a backpack that I need to go get the books and make some money. He said, man, can you go grab my backpack for me? Told me where it's at, went and grabbed the backpack. Literally bringing it to the locker room to give to him. Police bust out on me and got me, arrested me. They charged me with a Class D misdemeanor. At the time, my oldest daughter, mom, best friend, mom is a lawyer. She the one who helped me get it dropped from like Grand Theft Auto. It would have been a series. It would have been a felon up there in New York, but she got it dropped to a Class D misdemeanor, pay the fine, and then that was it. But because that guy who set me up was, a top player, he actually didn't get in trouble. I got in trouble. They kicked me out of school. So I went back to Mississippi. When I went back to Mississippi, that was it. I was like, man, I can't do this no more. Like I literally tried everything. I was at like my lowest point in my life. And I called my cousin, I ain't gonna say his name. I called him and said, man, listen, man, like help me out. He gave me a half an ounce of sour diesel. And from there, went crazy.
It's crazy.
I don't want to go because I don't want to go into too many details because you know, it's a lot of people that still kind of like active out there in that world. And I don't want to say names and stuff like that,
right.
but that's kind of when I got my first half an ounce, I started all the money I made, I just constantly started re-up. Never spent the dollar on nothing other than my re-up. And before you know it, I had a pound. And when I got my first pound, it was just like, I ain't going back from there. And then I went to Greenville, and Greenville, Mississippi, where I met my plug, and that's when my life changed. Like that's when I was getting 100 pounds every 2 weeks, and I ended up getting arrested. They gave me 20 years, 15 to serve, 5 on papers.
So it really was rooted in a desire to want more. You just didn't have the access to other opportunities.
Yes, and that's why it's so important, because you said something earlier. You know, you don't always need your dad. You don't always need your mom. You had your mom and your dad in the house. But the things that we aren't getting from our parents, you can get it from someplace else. That's why mentorship is so important. That's
Very
why
important. You
got to be able to pour back into, you know, other people and stuff like that.
Very. And I think that even with what you talked about with your college experience resonates, because when I went off to college, I was the first out of my parents' kids to get the experience of going to college, and they aren't rich. They weren't rich, and they couldn't send money. And I used to think the same thing. You know, I hung out with people who had very wealthy parents. You know, these people got cars. These people wearing American Apparel and Zara and all of these at the time, you know, Abercrombie and Fitch, all of these high-name brands. And here I am with clothes I still had from 11th grade. And so although I didn't have no hustler mentality in me to do anything illegal, I did work 2 jobs, and I went out and got credit cards to try to keep up with the Joneses, and essentially wrecked my credit by the time I was 20 years old. My credit score was at like a 500. Because I went and I got credit cards, and I bought I remember I competed in this speech competition, and all of the guys from Jackson State came, and Ole Miss and Southern Miss, and they had nice suits, and I had never owned a suit before. So I went and got a Men's Warehouse card, maxed it out on the first purchase. I was like, I'm going to get everything I want because I'm going to be just as nice as them. And then I went and got a dealer's card and did the same thing, and it's not registering in my mind that somebody got to pay these people back.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that's so important for people who are watching this to take away, especially if you're young, if you're watching this with young people, to just remember that although right now may not be your season, don't put yourself in no binds trying to keep up with the Joneses. I wish I knew back then I don't got to keep up with the Joneses because my last name Butler. Right. So ain't no need in me keeping up with the Joneses. I just need to do what I need to do. And, you know, and it took me a minute to rebuild my credit. It took me a minute to get to, you know, the point that I am now. And it was a valuable lesson. But one of the things that I always tell young people when I'm mentoring them is, you know, although you may not have a lot right now, take that little and work with that little.
Right.
Don't try to get, you know, in a place where you got a lot, but you're really putting yourself in a deeper hole on the back end because you're trying to do something that you ain't ready for yet.
This how crazy life is. My baby brother, we 3 years apart. When they separated us, they just show you we got the same mama and same daddy. This how important households is to black community. Households, like having people involved in your life. Although my brother didn't have, you know, a better life than me, he had a better situation than me because he moved in with his godparents. You got mom, dad, you got a grandmother house. The house, I always crack jokes with him that he basically grew up like the Family Matter. You know, Eddie Winslow, Carls Winslow, mom, all that, because he had that all in one house in a duplex. You had mom, you had his godparents, mom and dad. They had 2 kids. The mom stayed with them. Not only did the mom stay with them, but 2 of her other kids stayed there with their kids. This is in a 2-bedroom duplex. All these people in one duplex. But all of them, military, They got up and went to work every day. They had people in there that was going to school that's, focused, like they had people in this house that was pouring into my brother. So at 16, while I'm selling fake crack, while I'm hustling weed, while I'm stealing, while I'm doing all these dumb things, my brother was working 2 jobs at Mac. My brother was a manager at McDonald's at 16. You know what I'm saying? He was a shift lead at Walmart, 16, 17, 18. He was 18, 19, challenger, charges, all that. Never been in trouble, not in the streets. Went to Mississippi State, graduated Mississippi State. He a Sigma, military, good credit, everything. Like he had, and it's my same mama, same dad, everything. But then you got me on the other hand. My grandparents aren't thinking about pouring into me. Yep. You don't know why? They got to work. Yep. They got to figure out how can they put food on the table. So it happens all the time. That's why I don't judge, like, does it say like when we talk about the privileged kids, yeah, you got your mom and your dad in the house, but is mama and daddy engaged and involved into what you got going on? They sitting you down asking you questions. Are they pouring into you? Are they checking on you? Are they really checking on you? Not saying, hey, what you did at school today? Are they really saying, what did you do at school today? Y'all did math? Let me tell me what 10 times 10 is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like having a conversation engaged. So with my daughters, I'm like, it ain't, and my kids, 2 of my kids live out of state, one in New York, one in Atlanta. So for me, I can't afford to let another man raise my kids, because those are my kids. 2, let my girls go out here in this world to feel that they dad ain't involved in their life or care about what they got going on. As bad as I'm a basketball player, it's in my soul, and I got tall girls. For me, I don't want my daughters to do something that they don't want to do. My kids ain't athletic worth a damn. Don't want to play no sports. Well, track, gymnastics, that's sports, but they don't want to do basketball. You know what I'm saying? And for a long time, I fought it on the inside. Man, I want them to hoop. Man, I want them to play basketball. I want the same thing that's in me to be in them. But then eventually I'm just like, man, I just want them happy.
That's it.
I want them to grow up and be successful women. That's it.
That's it.
So I just wanted to piggyback off that part.
But that's real good, because I always tell people too, when they talk about growing up in 2 parents household, your parents can be present but not have a presence in your life. Things could be going on your parents are totally detached from. Don't know nothing about you, don't know what you really like, don't know what you really want to do, don't care about it. You can stand in the house and be present and you there, but do you really have a presence in your children's life? And I think that was so important for you to speak on that. I really love that. So tell us a little bit about, what was that timeline like from when you got that first real big stash or re-up to the amount of time that it took for you to really essentially get locked up? How long was that in between?
Like a year.
Okay, so it wasn't too long.
Yeah, about a year. Yeah, I had a short run. I had a short, very impactful run. Yeah. Because I really thank God for me, and I'm just being real when I sit back and I look at my life. I think God really was like, man, let me go on and fix him real quick so I can get him back out here. So, because when I got arrested, my case is different. I got charged with the Uniform Controlled Substance Act. They really couldn't pin me. They couldn't really say these are sale charges, these are manufacturing charges. So if you read my motion of discovery, it say they charged me with sale, transfer, and manufacture of marijuana. So they end up adding transfer in there to convict me simply because I never did hand to hand. It was always, it's over there, give me the money. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, the person who set me up had a camera recording me, but they never saw me hand him anything. And I was like, oh, just go over there, but give me the money. And give me the money, I'll leave. But when you start putting the transfer in there, it's like I'm transferring, blah, blah, blah. So they gave me 20 years for weed, 15 to serve, 5 on papers. I went down the road. I went down the road and I went to prison with a mandatory sentence. My middle daughter mom is the one who helped me get a parole date. Like, for real. Like, no schooling. Like, that inspired her to go to school for criminal justice. But we paid lawyers, everything. Nobody could get it done. They basically just took my money. And she was filing petitions and everything for me to get a parole date because it's a weed charge. Like, I ain't killed nobody. I ain't, no rape. I ain't none of that. Drugs, weed, marijuana, legal in so many other states. Folk gave me 20 years, 15 certified on papers. And so when I went down the road, I had a mandatory sentence. I fought 2 years. I was in prison 2.5 years before they even gave me a parole date. They gave me a parole date. I still had to bring three and some change to the door. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
How long were you in there?
In all, so I've been to prison 2 times. So I did 8 years in all. This last time I did 6. Yeah, when I came home in 2017, I did 6.
What was going through your mind the day that you found out that you were going to prison and they were charging you with 20 years?
So I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be totally honest. What my mindset was when I went there. I went in there and said, I'm gonna be the toughest black disciple on the compound.
Wow.
Yeah. Cause I like shit. If I'm excuse my language, I'm like, man, if I'm going to prison, I'm finna be the toughest, roughest. I'm finna, make a name for myself. I'm finna do all that. And when I went there, God bless the dead, my partner Joe C, he was like, man, you go scream? I said, Joe, I can't go home like that. I can't go home, with the reputation that I have. I can't go home and people say, man, Var was down here. He was just sitting on his rack. He wasn't screaming. He wasn't doing that. He wasn't doing that. So I was like, nah, I can't. I got to. And so when I went in the pen, first day, gang banging happened. That's why I got like the scars on my face. Got stabbed in the face. So, and then, man, it's just funny like how God took me through so much. He was showing me so much. I'm talking about, it was just like, like in high school, we had periods in Mississippi. Because I don't think they got periods, but we got periods. So first period might be math class. Second period might be English. Then you got all these things. That's how my prison sentence was, because the first part was like, oh, so you want to be a black disciple and you want to be the toughest, you want to be the baddest, you want to get this position? I'm finna show you what it come with. So boom. Go through that, get sent to the hole. I was in the hole for like 3 months. If I had stayed in the hole one more day, I would have lost my mind. Like literally one more day, I would have lost my mind, because this room is actually bigger than the cell I was in. Like, chop this room in half. That's how big my cell was. I only had probably about this much light in the room. Bed, toilet, that's it. And they sent me in the hole. And the cell beside me, that guy used to say every single, he used to just like say these little prayers loud every single day. And one prayer in particular stuck out to me. God, please take me out of the hands of man, because man is not merciful. Wow. That used to stick to me all the time. So in 2010, my cousin Latavius Williams, he ended up getting drafted to the NBA. And like Tay has always been like my boy. It's like my brother. Get drafted to the NBA, first high school player ever go to the D League straight out of high school. Make history. My brother BJ called. Well, I ended up getting a phone in the hole, using another guy's phone. Crazy part is, I'm banging with the vice lords in prison. Guess who give me a phone so I can call my family? A vice lord. All right. Call. He's like, man, bro, I know you going crazy in there, man. Tay just got drafted, blah, blah, blah. But I never been the type to kind of like piggyback off other people's success. That ain't never been my style. I always been like, I want my own.
Yeah.
And I called, checked Tay, said, congratulations. He hit back. Man, appreciate it, man. You good enough? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Didn't even ask for no money, nothing. So fast forward, they send me down to the second worst prison in the United States of America, Leakesville, Mississippi, Greene County. Get to Leakesville. Well, before we go there, they said when we get to this light by this gas station in Pearl, in Petal, Pearl, Mississippi. That's where Rankin County at. So they say when we get to this stop sign, if we take a left, we're going to Parchment. If we take because I didn't know where I was going. If we take a right, we're going to Greene County. And everybody on there, you got gangsters, you got killers, you got murderers, you got everybody in here like, man, I do not want to go to Greene County. Man, please, they praying, like, please let this bus take a left. Please let it take a left. Bus took a right. And I seen a grown man in there cry. Didn't know what I was walking into. So we get to Leakesville, get in there. They end up sending me to the C-Zone. God working mysterious ways. My cousin Daryl been locked up since I was a kid. This is my daddy's sister's son. Daryl got arrested a long time ago for rape, kidnapping, all type of stuff, like wild stuff. And it was some stuff that he didn't even do. The people who did it told on him to beat their sentence. And one of the guys who told on him is my uncle. So one of my uncles told on my cousin and stuff like this. So Darren went down the road for a very long time. I'm talking about like 20 years. So when they sent me to C-Zone, guess who in C-Zone? My cousin Darren. So while I was in there, my cousin Darren poured into me until they moved him. Like, it's a couple months they moved him. I bumped into a guy named Big Pokey. Get what Big Pokey is? Vice Lord. Big Pokey, I tell this story all the time when people invite me on podcasts. Big Pokey saved my life. Big Pokey is a vice lord, the same person that they said I'm supposed to be beefing with, who's my opposition, who we at war with. Big Pokey is the person who sat down with me and said, man, DeVarge, you weren't supposed to be in here. Man, I remember reading about you in the Clarion Legend. I remember when your cousin Tay, blah, 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 blah. I know who you is. He was from Marion County. He was from Columbia, Mississippi. The man used to sit me down every morning and have me read the dictionary with him, read the almanac with him, read the thesaurus with him, the Black Wall Street Journal, the Clarion Legend. These are magazines that he was getting. He had me read this with him every single day and work out with him. He was big. Big Poker, probably 400-500 pounds. But he was a 5-star university elite for the Vice Lord, Cicero. And that man literally changed my life. The day I got out of prison, the week I got out of prison, Big Poker died. Died in prison. Saved my life, man. And during that time in prison, he was instilling the things in me that a daddy or, somebody in my family should have been instilling to me. Because I didn't have no confidence as a man or a black man. I was lost. I grew up in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? Everything, all the things that I need. I learned how to tie a tie in prison. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I learned how to tie a tie. That's something that you're supposed to do with your dad or somebody like that. I learned how to tie a tie in prison. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to respect women in prison. Because in prison, you're around men all day. The thing to do the moment you see a woman and come to prison, everybody go crazy. Big Pokey taught me, chill. He said, slow down to speed up. I'm like, man, what you talking about? Slow down or speed up? That don't even, that's an oxymoron. That don't make sense. He said, if you take your time, you go get to where you going. Okay, you got it. So while I was in prison, I had a different experience than most people. Yeah. Slow down to speed up, you'll get to where you're going. While I was in prison, I ate freeware food. I had a cell phone, I had an iPhone. My middle daughter was conceived in prison. I used to pay to leave the prison. I used to pay to have my baby mama come sleep with me in her car at the prison. Slow down and speed up. You can get what you want or you can get where you're going. You ain't got to be like them. And them same guys that used to be overly aggressive with the woman, she ain't want to kick it with them. She ain't want to do business with them. She wanted that one who kind of like acting like she don't exist. And then when she come to me, she's like, what's your name? Oh, I'm DeVarge. Blah, blah. She said, oh, yeah, I Googled you. You from used to throw the parties in Starville. You used to do this, you do this. Yeah. Like, hey, do me a favor. What you got in that bowl you got? Oh, that's just some pork chop and rice and gravy. I give you $100 for it. You'll give me $100 just for that? Yeah. And when she take the $100, I got her.
That's it.
Now I need you to bring me a cell phone. Now I need you to bring me and Big Poker this. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to make sure my baby mama get that TV. I need you to make sure blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, my prison time was a little different than most folks. Yeah, it was a little different.
Said experience.
Yeah.
All right. So you end up getting out of prison.
Yep.
We'll talk about this where the redemption part comes in. Tell us a little bit about what your mindset was when you found out you were going home and you walked out of prison. What was your mindset?
I was excited for one, but I wasn't really excited. I was like, yeah, I'm finna go. But I wasn't like, because I already was kind of like out. Because I was doing stuff in the world. Like I started Delore in prison on my rec. Like Victoria Vivian was my first customer from Mississippi State. She was my first customer. I started that clothing company in prison. I'm talking about the LLC, the name, getting the first product, everything on my rec in prison on the iPhone. Me and my best friend Ryan. Victoria Vivian bought the first product. It took the company over. Like it went crazy. So when I found out I was coming home, I already had a plan. Like I had notebooks or ideas, things that I'm gonna do. It literally everything that I'm doing right now was in my notebook. Only thing I didn't do that I'm trying to do right now is be a sports agent because that's something I wanted to do. Because I feel like with my cousin Tay, I feel like he could have been he's supposed to be in the NBA. He don't supposed to be overseas playing ball. He's just that good, but without the right representation, without the right opportunity, without the right marketing, he ended up going overseas. Overseas ain't chump. He make more money than a lot of folks. A lot of folks. But he's supposed to be getting millions. You know what I'm saying? He got millions, but he's supposed to be getting that every single year versus, throughout a span. You know what I'm saying? And I want to kind of, I want to change that for a lot of people because a lot of players who be good, they just don't have the right representation, or they don't have the people that represent them. They don't even believe in them. They just out to get a check, and they got a big name so they can get in certain rooms. But everything that I wanted to do, I'm doing it, dog. It was wrote down. A guy that I was locked up with too, who was a vice lord, Alfonso Hayden. They call him Beeve. He was from Columbus, Mississippi. Smartest man I ever met. When I say he was literally buying houses with tax lien deeds while I was in prison. That's how I even learned about real estate. I ain't know nothing about real estate, even car sales. I ain't know nothing about being a car salesman. And I ended up coming here being one of the top car salesmen in the area. Mm-hmm. And it was all through them. He was buying cars from auctions, and he had guys stealing cars, stripping the VIN on them, redoing the VIN. He had a whole car lot of like 2020 whatever, brand new, that he stole, and he just switched the VINs out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know nothing about cars. I ain't know nothing about a lot of stuff until I met them guys.
All these from a prison that people didn't even want to go to.
Yes.
So that's a message right there. That's wrapped up. Sometimes
God sent me there. He sent me there for a reason.
Yeah. Sometimes the place that you don't want to go can be wrapped in what your blessing gonna be. Your blessing could be wrapped in that. Yes, in that place that you don't even want to go. A place that everybody else is talking about how horrific it's gonna be, how horrible it's gonna be. You don't want to go there.
I met my angel in prison, dog. I'm telling you. Frederick Showers from Marion County, Columbia, Mississippi. That was my angel, dog. I ain't never had a human being on this earth who believed in me. Outside of my boy, Demond Tate, God bless the dead. I never met a human being that believed in me the way that man did, man. I'm telling you. When I say every single day, boy, you got this. You this. Boy, you got a visit today. Let me make sure you right. Fixing my shirt. Hey, make sure. Hey, can y'all make sure y'all iron slim pants? Man, you ain't going out there with them pants on. Hey, somebody called, and he had his, in prison we say they got big feet. Big feet mean you got the juice in prison, like you the man. His feet were longer than their building. Because he can call and say, hey, bring Slim some brand new extra large green and white pants. And I was the only person on that side of the fence with green and white pants. They used to be like, man, you don't supposed to be here. I'm like, what you mean? I'm just doing my time. Then all of a sudden one day I went to the case manager. That's when they said, man, you really don't supposed to be here. And they end up writing something up to put in for my transfer. I'm telling you, dog. And he used to be like, man, make sure, we finna get our haircuts today. Y'all make sure Slim get a haircut. He got a visit today. He got this today. He got this today. Man, like that man was like a daddy to me in prison. And believed in me. I'm talking about his organization and my organization is at odds in the prison system, man. Like these folk killing each other in the prison system. But when it came down to where we was at in that compound, man, listen, ain't nothing going on. As long as Slim on the other side, ain't nothing going on to him.
Sure.
Telling you, dog.
So tell us about the meaning of Delore, your clothing brand. What does that clothing brand mean to you, and what does that name mean? And then walk us into how you kind of got your jump started in realty a little bit.
So Delore is a non-gender specific brand. So we don't believe in gender. You know what I'm saying? If you're a man and you want to wear a dress, you can. If you're a woman and you want to wear a baseball cap like Victoria Vivian did, you can wear it. And people shouldn't be able to say, oh, that's a man's shirt. That's a woman's shirt. Men like to wear pink too. So that's what Delore is. It's not even a word really, you know what I'm saying? But it's something that I came up with in prison. It just sounded so like luxury, you know what I'm saying? Exquisite. So I was like, we're gonna rock with it. And with Delore, my ultimate goal was to just build something where everybody can wear it, no matter you rich, poor, and you put it on and you feel like you got on Balenciaga. That's what I was trying to create, even the affordability aspect. Yeah. And then how I got into real estate, it's always something that's been on my mind because Alfonso Hayden, he talked about tax lien deeds every single day. Got tired of hearing about it. And when I came home, I moved out here. I was living with my brother. Go through that full story. So I was working at Pizza Hut. I was driving my girl's car that she just got from her ex-husband in a divorce to deliver pizza at Pizza Hut. And I ended up going to see Charlamagne the God at Grapevine Mills Mall to get his first book for him to sign. I'm a huge Breakfast Club Charlamagne the God fan. So I go see him there. I leave work. I told him to take my lunch break early. Go there. I had an army jacket in my bag in the back seat of the car. I put that on because I didn't want to show the Pizza Hut shirt. And I came in there and I bought the book. He signed the book. He like, damn, you tall. And, he's short. He like, damn, man, you tall. You play basketball? I'm like, nah, man. I like opened my shirt and said, bro, I deliver Pizza Hut. He said, I'm going to tell you right now, pick your head up and never be ashamed of what you do. If you go work at Pizza Hut, be the best Pizza Hut delivery driver you want to be. That day, I got confidence. So from there, I started just I just started wanting to be, my Pizza Hut, man, I'm better than Pizza Hut. If I'm going to be at Pizza Hut, I need to be working corporate. So I'm literally applying for jobs for corporate position at Pizza Hut because I'm already in the door. So my girl was like, man, you need to get a laptop. I like, laptop? Yeah, at the time I had a bread, so she loaned me the $1,700 to get the laptop. So we go to the Apple store, sitting in the Apple store, waiting on them to bring the computer out. Guy sitting across from me. Guy say, man, I'm trying to decide on these chargers. He really talking to himself. And it's the chargers where, you just lay it on and charge yourself, stuff like that. So he was like, man, I'm trying to see. I said, man, you should get this one simply because I heard you say that people be stealing your chargers at work, blah, 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 blah. He said, man, you need to be a car salesman. I said, car salesman? Never paid attention to a car salesman in my life. Never looked at one, didn't know nothing about no car salesman. Then I'm talking about literally oblivious of a car dealership, car salesman, anything. Everything I had was old school. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to no car dealership. Right. My baby mama bought a brand new Camaro out the lot, 2013. I wasn't there. So I don't know nothing about no car salesman. Right. And I said, man, insecure moment hit me. man, I'm a felon, man. I got a GED. I dropped out of college. This. He said, man, listen, I don't care about none of that. White guy, care about none of that. Come see me Thursday. Go see him Thursday. Boom. They get me the job. First month there, I was working at, I ain't gonna say the name because I don't need to promote them. I was working at the dealership. Sold 9 cars my first month. The owner of the dealership missed over a black lady, older black lady. I'm gonna make this quick. Lady come into the dealership. She buy a car. They run her credit, like good credit. She looking for a specific payment. They initially couldn't get to the payment. Then all of a sudden they come back and they at the payment. I never didn't know what's going on because how they ran the dealership, the desk managers make all the decisions. You just a salesperson. Show the car, sell the car, make them like the car. Boom, boom, boom on sign. And I was like, damn. How they get done? Show it to her, boom, boom. She's like, oh my God, I'm happy. Thank you so much, Devar. Old black lady. Probably same age as my grandmama. And that's why it hurt me. The lady came back a couple weeks later. DeVars, what's going on? You told me this, you told me. I said, what's going on? She showed me the bill. Not only did she have a car payment, but she also had a credit card bill too. So at the time, Nissan was giving credit cards for like accessories. How about they apply for the credit card for her in her name, use her credit card as a down payment on the car. That's how they got to the monthly payment. So when she came back with her daughters and stuff like that, and they raising all this sand, like they're saying, raising sand. I ain't want to say raising the other word, but they acting up, and they go say, oh, it don't matter that she ain't gonna do them a report. She ain't gonna do them a report like the rest of them. Man, listen, I went off. When I say went off, I went off. They fired me. You'll never work at another car dealership again. God. Driving, leaving the car dealership, crying. Because I got to tell my girl, baby, I ain't going to be able to help with the rent next month. I just got fired. I call her. Tell her. You know what she said? It'll be all right. She said, I love you. I'll see you at the house. Wiping my tears. God. Hello? Is this DeVar's Bell? Yeah, this is DeVar's Bell. Are you still looking for a position at Don Davis Auto Group? Listen, God, never apply for it. If you go to Don Davis now and tell them to pull up my file and show an application for DeVar's Bell, they can't pull it up.
And Don Davis is a good dealership.
Bro, I never applied for a job at this spot. They said, can you be here Wednesday? I said, why I got to wait till Wednesday? I'm dressed now. Head down now. Pull up, do the interview. They say, like, chin hair, you gonna have to shave this. I said, look, I appreciate the opportunity. If y'all please will allow me to keep my chin hair, I promise to be y'all top car salesman at the dealership. They said the moment you don't sell a lot of cars, you got to shave or you getting out the door. Bro, I was the top car salesman at Don Davis every month for 4 years straight. 200 club every single year. Bald head, gold teeth with a goatee. Top car salesman. So 200 plus cars every single year while I was at that dealership.
Great determination.
God, man. So fast forward a little bit. I'm fiending for growth. Asking them, man, please let me be a manager. I got all the tools. I'm taking people through finance, everything. They said, no. I said, you don't fit the bill. You don't look like, you know what I'm saying, what we looking for. Tattoos, gold in your mouth. But when we put people back there, we need them to be clean cut. And why would we take our cash cow off the floor? Boy, that knocked me down. It hurt me so bad to hear them folks say that, man. And then they have a lighter complexion as me. Boy, that hurt my heart. And it just took me to what my grandfather said. And I ended up having gallbladder issues within that same time I'm going through this. Go to the hospital, get my gallbladder removed. God again, DeVars, you deserve so much better. You deserve so much better. pull my laptop out. I'm in the hospital, bro. I'm talking about laid in the hospital. Pull my laptop up. How to get into real estate.
Just like that.
Just like that. I'm talking about this sequence. I'm in the hospital. How to be in real estate. First thing popped up, Champion School of Real Estate. Go there, apply there. Pull my debit card out, apply. Boom, boom, straight just like that. They send my books, everything. Bro, I'm in the hospital taking the test. My first 3 classes I was in the hospital in Methodist Charleston. Laid up. Gallbladder. Gallbladder ain't that it's not a long surgery. But mine was a little bit complicated. My incisions didn't heal fast enough, so that's why I was in there so long. So majority of my classes was took while I was in the hospital bed, and then when I got out, I started going to take my classes there. Got into real estate, and it was a gamble for me. And since I've been in there, man, top producer every other month. I sell 2+ houses every single month. Once again, God, you know what I'm saying. Like I just got that determination of I'm gonna make something happen, and and plus I think I was put here to service people. Like I was put here to make sure people get the right information and people make the right decision when it comes to certain things in their life.
Absolutely, relentless,
big
dog status.
You can't tell me I can't do nothing. When I say
get it done,
man, I'm gonna get it done. And that's what they be calling me. They be like, Mr. Get It Done.
Solid.
I'm going to get it done, dog.
Solid.
Yes, sir.
So after all of that, because that's an amazing story, you've gone from being...
Man, that ain't even... And we just skipping over stuff, but, we ain't got time. Man, that ain't even... It's so much more, man.
You go from growing up with humble beginnings to being incarcerated, having basketball opportunities, going to prison, revamping your mindset, meeting people who've poured into you, coming out of prison, working at Pizza Hut, to meeting somebody and going to work as a car salesman, excelling at that, recognizing that they're trying to put a ceiling on you, but you ain't going to stop at that ceiling.
Yes.
Now you're in realty where you kind of like your own boss.
Yes.
And there ain't no limits on what you can do. And so you're producing now and constantly being, the top at your firm and all of that in realty, and things are going amazing. So now what I want to close with is, when you think about your legacy, DB's legacy, Devarius Bell's legacy, what is it that you want that to be? When you're done, when it's finished, when you leave, what do you want your legacy to be?
I want it to be similar to what Dolph was trying to do for Memphis. Like, I want to really shrink that poverty rate in Starkville and in Mississippi. Like, I want to go to places like, so you probably don't know this, a lot of people don't know this, but Marks, Mississippi is the poorest city in the United States of America.
I'm from the Delta.
Yeah.
Right up the street.
So think about that. Like, it's people there that lives like, if this the poverty line, they live below the poverty line in Marks, Mississippi. This is where Martin Luther King gave that speech when he's talking about the mule train, like how we have money to fund wars, but people in Marks, Mississippi, don't have food, water, and shelter and stuff like that. So for me, I want to shrink that, dog. Like I want to be able to be in a position where even if it's not my money, like just say like how people have these millions and millions of dollars and they donate millions and millions of dollars to schools and stuff like that. Like why I can't take that money and then build some type of infrastructure in these places to give people jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I was able to manipulate the people in prison, because they was making $7.50 an hour, and I got these $100 bills, and I say, hey, here go $100 bill for you to go do X, Y, and Z. That's their pay for that. That's more than what they get paid in a day. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I want to be able to, when I'm no longer here, and I hope I'm here for a very long time, I want to be able to, when people think of me, they be like, man, if it weren't for Devarius Bell, I wouldn't have what I have right today. He gave me an opportunity, because same way with me, somebody gave me an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Somebody looked out on me when I ain't have. And I want to be that person for Starkville. I want to be that person for Blackjack. I want to be that person for Mississippi. And not just Mississippi because I'm from there, even in Texas. Houston, there's literally 5 schools in Houston that is horrible with test scores and stuff like that. So let's find a reason why 5 schools in Houston, Texas have the worst test scores in America. Mm-hmm. So why can't we put the resources that we need into stuff like that? Like, that's what I want to be. I'm not political or nothing like that, but I want to put myself in a position financially. I want to have the knowledge so I can get the grants and all these non-profit things. And I want to change people's life. I want to really give people the opportunity to be what they want to be. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody expected me, 2-time convicted felon, to be where I'm in now. You know what I'm saying? Or to live where I live now, to have what I have now, to have the things that I have now. Like, nobody would have never expected that in a million years. And I give all thanks to God because I prayed for this. Like, I literally prayed for this.
And stay determined.
Yes.
And that's a testament to it too. You know, you can't give up and you can't stop just because you get into a sticky situation.
The 3 Ds: dedication, determination, discipline.
Dedication, determination.
If you have those 3 things, dog, because I'm super disciplined. I'm 36. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't club, I don't go out. I put the things that my priorities are in order. I put things that are important first. I'm gonna put work and business over everything, because without that, what do you have?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Dedication, determination, discipline. That's it.
For sure. This has definitely been an amazing conversation. Before we go, I want you to look into that camera and I want you to talk to, maybe it's a man who's getting ready to go to prison and he's trying to wrap his mind around, you know, how he's going to go in and maintain his sanity. Yeah. Or maybe it's somebody who's just getting out of prison and they're trying to figure out what their next move is going to be. Or maybe it's somebody who's been out for a little minute and they're trying to see how can they redeem themselves and start a business or go to the next level or do something that's never been done before. And I want you to talk to those guys and tell them a little bit of a nugget that they could take with them that they could keep forever as they go to redeem themselves.
My advice to black men in general: kill the ego. It starts there. Kill the ego, change the mindset. Once you kill the ego, it takes away all the things. It takes away certain words out of your vocabulary. I won't, I can't. All things like that. Because if you care about your family, if you care about your loved ones, if you care about yourself, if you say, man, I never want to go back to prison anymore, you will kill the ego and you would do the things that you don't normally do or you wouldn't normally do in order to provide for your family. So, you know, even if it's shoveling dog poop, you'll do what it takes to provide for your family. And never give up. Always believe in yourself and always bet on yourself. Because when I was down bad, one person I could always count on, me. Always. I can always count on myself. And don't be lazy. Change your mindset, kill the ego, don't be lazy. Get to it. And if you do that, I promise you, man. And I think for me, I just didn't care anymore about pleasing people. You know what I'm saying? I no longer cared about how women view me. If they thought I was handsome, if they didn't think I was fly, I didn't care. I didn't want to be in the spots. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't care if I don't hang around men who judge me. I don't care if I pull up and I'm in my girl's car that she got from her husband in a divorce, worried about people gonna make jokes of me. I don't care about living outside of my means to go cop a car that I can't afford just to show off to people who ain't got it anyway.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of things like that. Once I eliminated that, I had no desire to like be mixy and all that type of stuff. I'll do something that I know is gonna either lose me my life, whether it be through prison or whether it be through the graveyard. So, you know, kill the ego, change your mindset, don't be lazy. You will be all right.
For sure. I want to tell you, I appreciate you for coming through, my boy. We're going to have you back. You to drop some good nuggets today.
For real.
So much so I didn't even do a lot of talking today. Yeah. You just took the show. I really appreciate you. But thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for just pouring into other black men. It's so important that we listen and we hear and we have somebody who tells us, you know, that it's going to get better if you keep on walking. So
if I can do it, you can do it.
For sure.
I promise.
For sure. Thank you so much, my boy, for stopping by. So as you all could see, redemption is always right around the corner if you shape your mind to be ready to receive what it is you're trying to shoot after. Write that plan down. Make it plain. Don't be afraid to go into those places that other people might be scared of, because your blessing could be there waiting for you. And just when you think there are people who are uncommon to your destiny, or who don't have anything in common with you, or who very well may be ops to you, they can be blessings to you at the same time. I leave you with this quote. Malcolm X said, "You can't separate peace from freedom, because without peace, there is no freedom." Until next time, thank you for joining me on the Relentlessly Becoming podcast. See y'all soon. Peace.